Let's pull this one up from the Post Millennial. Michigan court rules RFK Jr.'s name should be removed from ballot. This reverses a lower court ruling. So I think this will play a big role for Trump in the prediction models. It's a Michigan appeals court has ruled the name of RFK Jr. should be removed from presidential ballots in that state. This comes after Kennedy suspended his presidential campaign and endorsed Donald Trump. He has since petitioned to have his name removed from ballots in 10 key battleground states, including Michigan. A lower court in Michigan had said that Kennedy's name should not be removed, but that the appeals court determined that Democrat Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson had no basis to deny Kennedy's request to withdraw his name from the ballot, the Detroit Free Press reports. The appeals court further determined that the law Benson used to justify her refusal to remove Kennedy's name from the ballot only to candidates of for state office, not to presidential candidates such as Kennedy. It was only 2 days ago that a Michigan judge determined that Kennedy, the Kennedy, must remain on the November ballot, which would have potentially aided Vice President Kamala Harris's bid for the White House, which is the very candidate Kennedy is hoping to see defeated. I don't know if I agree with that logic, to be completely honest, because that argues Kennedy was always pulling from Trump. Him staying on the ballot may pull from the Democrats. I don't know why everyone's immediately assuming this is just bad for Trump.
Is it because even though he's a Democrat, but he was kind of based Democrat, so they think anyone has some illogical brain cells might be voting for him from on the right side instead of the left side?
Well, when he first announced that he was switching to an independent, a lot of people were like, first off, let's remember that it was Democrat organizations that were trying to keep him off the ballot initially. I don't know of any Republican state-led effort that was like, we got to keep RFK off the ballot. That should tell us something, right? It was also his family that said he should drop out. This was when he was an independent because it would hurt the Democrats. So obviously someone thought it was bad for him to be there. But when he initially announced his candidacy, and again, when he announced that he was going to be an independent, there was a lot of enthusiasm among people who identified as conservative. But when you would look at polls that would ask them like, oh, so you like him? They'd be like, yeah, we think he's great. And they're like, are you going to vote for him? They'd be like, no, I'm voting for Trump. But, I think he does appeal to a lot of voters. Now, independents are a little more mixed. But again, I don't think that an independent that was leaning towards Trump, I don't think there's enough of them that were going to not vote for Trump. Whereas Democrats were deeply unhappy with Biden as a candidate and were looking for other options.
Very based. Jocelyn I seen her on MSN today. She was MSNBC, and she was super mad because I guess got to reprint everything. It's going to cost a lot of money to get everything reprinted. And that was her excuse to the host, as they're going to spend millions of dollars, taxpayer dollars, to redo the ballots. And even though she had all the time ahead of time to make that change, she waited to the last minute. And now she is forced to, and she's costing her own people, their own money.
Well, to go back to where we started, I think we can assume then if Trump really was losing voters to RFK Jr., this boosts Trump in Michigan.
Yeah, I think it does. And I think it's because the Democrats have become so extreme that anything, even in the middle, even anything is more Republican. It's more conservative now. It's just this past, couple years have become such a divide. And so I think I don't think there's very many, Democrats that they're losing here.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that it's interesting to watch the lawfare have gone from we must keep him off the ballot to being like, no, now you can't get off the ballot. And in some ways, I think it's just another testament to how poorly the Democratic Party treats RFK Jr., who really could have been the sort of firebrand to breathe new life into the Democratic Party if they were open to it, but they obviously weren't. There's a regimented direction they are trying to move in, and he doesn't get to be a part of it. Michigan is a state that I don't count on for Trump. But it would be interesting if not having RFK does tip it in his favors. I don't know if that's the case.
Do you think we have a better chance with Michigan or Wisconsin for Trump?
It's hard to know. I haven't looked enough data. Do you have an instinct?
I would go with more Wisconsin because I feel like it's a bigger rural area than Michigan would be.
Interesting.
Michigan has bigger cities and different demographics.
Yeah.
Anything, madam?
Let's see. Is he on the ballot in Michigan?
Trump?
RFK?
Well, he's going to come off the ballot in Michigan
or in Wisconsin, I mean.
Trump is. Yeah, Trump's on all.
I think RFK is. He tried to get off, but I think Michigan wouldn't let him. Or Wisconsin wouldn't let him, sorry.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know, honestly. Yeah. Both of those both of those I feel like are a toss up. That's why, again, you can't get complacent. I feel like, especially in the swing states.
Yeah. If I'm remembering correctly, Michigan is one of the states that during the primary said basically there was a significant enough portion of votes that were saying we want not Joe Biden. It was the uncontested.
The non-committed.
The non-committed voters, which is fascinating, right? Because then that was largely at the time reported because of the Palestine-Israel conflict.
Yes.
So if those voters who, from all the interviews I've heard done with people who are, this is their single issue this year, it's not enough to have swapped out for Harris. They need the promises of a complete ceasefire. And I don't think anyone has won them over on the Democratic Party. So if you're a non-committed voter in Michigan, it's not that you're going to switch and vote for RFK. It's that you sit out the election entirely. So get RFK's name coming off the ballot wouldn't win Trump those voters. It would just continue to free up voters who are going to pick someone else. It doesn't motivate the people that the Democrats actually need.
And Kamala has never said anything about doing ceasefires. I still see people mad about her not going far enough to shut it down right now.
She kind of just pays lip service to it. That's my take on it.
But she does to everything. She doesn't answer the questions. So it's like, what are they supposed to think?
Still no policies on the website?
Not as far as I know.
That's crazy. And once again, I'll throw it to the Lichtman prediction where it says that the incumbent party affects major national policy change without having any policies. I don't know how he's saying that's true.
It's business as usual unless she tells us she's doing something else. I mean, there was that stuff on the capital gains tax today where it's like it's less than what Biden is suggesting, but it is still an increase. Like it's like she is trying to suggest, oh, I'm not like Biden, but actually she is basically still the Biden-Harris administration, except for when she's copying Trump. So what's the
she
game
wants
plan?
to say she wants to distance herself from Biden, but then people say, okay, how are you going to do that? And it's
They did make an update to the website.
They did.
But it's just a countdown for 4 days, a countdown to the debate. That's all it is. The only thing new on it. Yeah.
When is the countdown to their policies coming? What is
But I seen it counting down. I was like, oh, cool. Is that what they mean? They're going to do policies? But nope. It's just
there it
the
is.
Debate.
Chip in before the debate. 4 days, 0 hours, 12 minutes, 52 seconds. And Harris debates Trump on September 10th. Share your support for Team Harris Waltz by donating any amount. And no policies. This is crazy times, man. I was talking about it this morning. It just feels like over the past 7 to 10 years, the collective IQ of this country has dropped by like 10 points. Or I don't know how else to describe it. But people that I knew who were otherwise smart, even if they weren't they didn't care, have seemingly lost the capability to comprehend simple things. Like you show them a video of Trump saying something and they forget it in 5 seconds. I don't want to I don't want to call anybody specifically out, but there are people that I know where they'll be like, did you hear Trump did this thing? And I'll say, here's a video. And they'll go, oh, I didn't realize that. And then 20 minutes later, they're like, did you hear Trump did this thing? Or they'll like throw in a conversation like, yeah, well, Trump said this. And I'm like, I just showed you the video. Like, what is going on? How are we in this world where Kamala has Barack Obama had policies? Like, it was convincing to people. Mm-hmm. It convinced me. People were saying that he was going to do a proper withdrawal. The general argument was, we're not going to get an overnight withdrawal. You can't do it, but he's going to wind this thing down, get our troops back, anti-war candidate. Everyone's mad about the war. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I could look and see what his policies were all about and see what he was talking about. Kamala Harris, Tim Walz don't have anything. I don't know what they represent or what they will do.
And I think that's how they want it, right? She doesn't want to have to answer any questions at any time. She doesn't want to be glued down to any promises because she doesn't have a vision for the country. She's not a strong leader. She's not a strong personality. I think this also might speak to some sort of discord within her campaign, because one of the fascinating things about being like, hey, we're, however many days out, we're going to throw Kamala in now, is that she inherited the Biden campaign, meaning a lot of his volunteers and staffers, but then also brought in her own support staff. Like, they actually might, for all we know, be in a room every night fighting about the policies because she was staffed with even more progressive people than Biden was. And so they don't know what to present to the people because there is no plan. There's just chaos and fighting.
Yeah.
And her staff, didn't she have like a 98%
She has lots of turnover. Yeah.
So like her staff now might not be who she wants them to be. They might just be people who got hired, so they can't decide on what's going on.
And some reporting that I've heard is that she doesn't really have any like policy advisors that have been with her for a long time. You know, she's got her sister and she's got her husband and she's got her brother-in-law, but she doesn't have, you know, experts who she's been working with since her days in California. She sort of is adrift politically.
It's just insane because you go to like the local people running for office, like these small offices, you know, just locally, and they have websites and they have policies and they have what they want to do. You want to be the leader of the free world. You have no policies on your website.
Yeah.
Like, how do people not
Get frustrated.
see that and get frustrated? I would be frustrated if Trump had nothing.
Yeah, you expect more. I mean, what's interesting is there was this New York Times reporter talking about how he had done on-the-ground interviews with Harris Wall's volunteers in Nevada, and they were being told, Nevada, don't come for me. They were being told, don't focus on policy, just focus on vibe. Do you think they could win this election on vibe alone?
Brett Summer.
The summer is over, my friend.
I would hope not, but honestly, like, I feel like they won on vibe in 2020, you know?
But the vibe was not Trump. Is that the vibe again this year?
It's always not Trump, I think.
And you
Not
think
Trump and a woman.
Oh yeah.
So it's like an edgy,
And she's
cool
a
boss
POC
babe
woman.
vibe. Yeah.
Oh man.
I know and dumb people are easy to control. Bad dumb populations are definitely easy.
Sure, but you have to motivate dumb people, right? Like if
Not
the
Trump.
vibes are not enough, no, I don't know if not Trump is enough anymore.
Yeah.
Because status quo is not great, right? Nobody's buying boats, per Theo Von's cousin.
He said no one's buying boats anymore.
No, that was his. I'm parroting.
Just 5 years ago, they were buying
Yeah.
boats.
Yeah.
And he used it once the whole time, probably,
Yep.
like boats are.
The joke is the two greatest days in a boat owner's life: the
Yeah.
day you buy it and the day you sell it. I don't hear good things about boat ownership
No, I know a couple boat owners, and it's just pain in the butt.
unless you live on
Money
it.
out their pocket.
I feel like owning a boat is sort of like an achievement thing. Like you've come to the point in your life where you're able to buy this boat. But then also, if you have come to a point in your life where you're able to buy the boat, you're probably working really hard, don't have much free time.
Yeah, you have to like scrub the bottom and do a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
work.
all kind of work. It's pain in the butt. No thanks.
Can't they invent something so that you don't got to do that?
Oh, like in the pools, they have like a mechanical thing that goes around and cleans it, just like a Roomba.
Or just like a
Roomba
material
at
that
a time.
is
Oh, that's okay. We're going
Best way to do it is to just know someone with a boat.
Yeah,
that's the way you do it. Yeah.
It is.
That's why a lot of people who own boats charter them out. So it's like you own a boat, you're going to use it a couple times a year. You have a charter company manage it, and then people rent it, and a pilot takes it out or a captain takes it out. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.